When I think about Animal Farm, I think of a parable, a kind of modern myth that seems to be about an oppressive system, a farm that's ruled by humans, and all animals serve their interest. Everything they work for is given to them. The parable is something to do with revolution, freedom, and how that gets perverted. What I'm excited about in our adaptation is to create a modern version of the story where the farm is kind of like a surveillance unit, where man is in the machine, and the animals have no sense of the fruits of their labor. Our revolution is about tearing down technology. The central themes are to do with how much agency do we have in our lives. I mean, I think at the moment in the world, it feels to me like people have very little sense of control. There are algorithms that have reduced our space to make choices. Those sorts of ideas about the machines not serving us but us serving the machines feel like a very contemporary anxiety, and a great sort of frame for this piece. What is community now? What is our sense of equality? There's got to be people who run things. So what does equality look like? What does democracy look like? So these are really big themes. What does family and community look like? And all of those things are things that this extraordinary parable deal with, and what I hope we can deal with in a kind of very urgent, modern way. Obviously, Orwell's parable related directly to one that, what happened in the Soviet Union with the rise, with post-revolution and the rise of Stalin, post-Lenin, etc. It was written in the teeth of fascism growing. So, and it feels to me we're there now. We're in a very divisive time at the moment, with extreme parties in politics representing views, embracing the popular vote through anxiety, and all of that is very concerning. All of that makes this piece feel as relevant as it has ever done to me and to our company. I just want them to enjoy entering into a different world. The minute they come in, you're entering into, I mean, Orwell calls it a fairy tale, but it's not a bright, cozy Barbie fairy tale. It's a kind of nightmare. And there is an element of terror and horror with it. There's also the comic element to it. So I love audiences to kind of enter into a space and a place that feels really tangible, like and emotional and immersive. I want the communities that come to see this to feel the modern parallels, but to just also surrender to it emotionally. Also, what's really exciting about doing this play now and here with this theatre, the Octagon, but also with Derby and Hull Truck, is this wonderful ambition that these theatres have to share these extraordinary works with young people across the country, to give this artistic provision to communities that maybe haven't had them for a while. I'm really excited about what we're creating and what audiences here in Derby and Hull Truck, and I know these audiences are so honest, so generous, but at the same time, if they don't get it, they'll let you know that. And so you're walking a kind of joyous tightrope with them, because they'll know if you're telling the truth, and they'll welcome it and embrace you if that's what you're doing.